Hi guys, it's SimLicy here, so welcome to another apartment renovation video, and today I am finally renovating an apartment in Uptown. I cannot believe I have actually never built in this neighborhood in San Myshuno. City living has been out a long time, so yeah, it was about time that I finally built in this neighborhood, and I am so happy that I did, and I hope to build more in the future. I would like to do something next time that's a little bit more like glam, I think. I mean, this apartment's really nice. I was going for a fancy look, but it's a little bit more on the rustic side. And I don't know, hopefully you guys do like the way it turns out. I had a lot of fun building it, and I did have an idea in mind for the type of people that would live in this apartment. I didn't create any kids rooms, but there are rooms that you could turn into kids rooms if you would like to have a family in this apartment. But I did imagine that it would just be a couple. So there's one bedroom. They do have like a game room area and an office, so those are potential bedrooms, but I imagined it was just like a power couple. I imagined one of them was a sports star because I hung up a lot of like jerseys and like trophies throughout the apartment, which I thought was a lot of fun. And then the other one I imagined was either a chef or a food critic because I felt like this kitchen was like pretty nice if you were like really into cooking or really into food. You have so much space and counter space. Like, I thought that'd be really cool. So hopefully you guys do like that idea, and yeah, I had a lot of fun building it, and I've been very excited to share it with you guys. I had a bit of a break. I was feeling a little bit off, so I decided to take a little time away, and then I got sick, and as you can probably tell in my voice, I am still a little bit sick. I have been having a hard time getting my voice back, but I'm going to try to talk through this entire video because it's been a while, and I didn't want to just leave you guys hanging, and I had this I've had this build done and ready to share with you guys. I've just been waiting to get over my illness, and it's just taking its sweet time to go away. So I just thought I would just try to tough it out and see if I can get through the whole voiceover. If my voice starts to get too bad or to go away, I'll just leave you guys with some music, but I'll try not to do that because I do like to talk over my entire videos, but hopefully my voice isn't too horrible to listen to. It feels quite raspy, but hopefully it's not as bad as I think it is. But I absolutely adore this kitchen. I immediately knew that I wanted to go with a brown and black color scheme because I don't think I use black that often in my builds. I feel like I tend to avoid black. Black and red I feel like I don't use that much, so maybe I should try to use those colors more often. But yeah, so I decided to start with the kitchen because I knew I wanted to use these countertops and I wanted to go with a dark tile flooring. So I thought I would just start with the kitchen to set the whole mood for the apartment. And also off camera, I did do the entire floor plan. Since this is one of the really large one-story apartments in Uptown, I decided that I would go ahead and work out the floor plan off camera. That way it wasn't, I don't know. I just felt like getting it out of the way before I actually, started the video. So hopefully that doesn't bother you guys. But I did include a floor plan shot at the end of the video. So if you guys want to see how it's all laid out, you can see it that way. I do include floor plans at the end of all of my videos. Sometimes I have been asked to include those, but those people don't stay until the end of the video because they're always at the end. So yeah, if you are curious how everything's laid out, always at the end. Oh, and I did shrink down some lights and put them in the cabinets because I felt like it was a bit dark, but I didn't want just like a bunch of lights on the walls. So I decided to just size them down and kind of merge them into the cabinets to kind of hide them a little bit. So yeah, oh, and I did playtest this apartment, and I did have an issue with the archways. So you'll notice in the hallways I built some archways. Since we don't have medium wall height like modern archways, I decided to take the short wall height archways and raise them up. I've seen some people do that before, so I assumed that that worked and your Sims could walk through them, but I couldn't actually get my Sims to walk through those archways. So you may notice in the screenshots that they're a little bit different. You may not notice, but I'll point them out when we get to one of those archways. They're pretty much just in the hallways. So yeah, I couldn't get my Sims to walk through those. But other than that, I didn't have any issues. They were able to sleep and eat, and they seemed to really enjoy this apartment. So yeah, I had a lot of fun decorating it. It was a little bit different. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I don't build too many modern things. So when I try to make things look modern, it's a little bit of a struggle for me, but I think I pulled it off, and I had a lot of fun with this color scheme. And there's a few pops of like orangey reds in this apartment, which I thought was really nice. And some packs that I used a lot of the fitness pack. I forget exactly what it's called, but I know that's wasn't like one of the most popular packs. So if you don't have that pack, there might be a few things missing because I did use it a lot for some decorations. But I tried to not overuse it in case people didn't have that pack. But other than that, City Living and Spa Day, I would say, are very important packs for this apartment because I did use items from those packs a lot. And with this floor plan, I did decide to leave it pretty similar to the way they had it before. I didn't try to switch it up too much since this fireplace is kind of smack dab in the middle right here. When you, the first part of the apartment is like, what do you do with it? It pretty much has to either be, I guess it could be a dining room, but I don't know, I'm like, it just pretty much has to be a living room. And so I decided to work with it and make this the living room area, and then I put a chest table and a fish tank, which I thought was so cool. And it was such like a calm apartment. When I was going to take the screenshots, you just see the fish swimming, and it's a great view out into the city, which I don't know, very glamorous, and I would feel very special if I had this kind of apartment. It's probably not decorated to my taste exactly, but with these views, I mean, who cares what it looks like? I would love to have these views. So amazing. And here I was trying to make some sort of chandelier, and I decided against it in the end, and yeah, I don't know, I think it looks really nice in the end. And I really loved that painting above the fireplace. I thought it added such a nice pop of color, and I felt like it tied in really nicely with the candle on the dining table and that little chair in the corner. I thought was, yeah, I don't know, I felt like I was being a little bit clever tying the colors in together. Sometimes I kind of just place things and don't really try to plan if I'm tying colors in together or really create a color palette. Sometimes I just kind of start with a couple colors and then just go with the flow, and whatever kind of comes to mind is how I go with things. But this is the kind of hangout bar area. It's kind of like a game room. I put a karaoke machine in here. I also put the card table from, I believe that came with Get Together. So you could replace it if you wanted to have the foosball table, or if you wanted to have the Don't Wake the Llama, or whatever else you wanted to replace it with. But I thought that would be pretty cool. And I was going to put these shelves in between these kind of bottle racks, but I decided to put mirrors behind them, and the mirrors actually cover up the blue sort of lighting behind the bottles, which I thought looked super cool and very fancy. So I am really happy that I figured that out. I thought it looked, I think it looks really nice. But something that I thought was really weird about this room is you'll notice the lighting that's like shining on the floors is actually a lighting pattern from a different style window that came with City Living. It's still the same window, but if you go through the swatches, there's some of the swatches have those kind of geometrical shapes within the window. That's the lighting that's actually cast on the ground. You can probably see it right here. Isn't that bizarre? I thought that was so kind of funny, and yeah, I really like that. But at this point, I was trying to figure out what I should hang on the walls, and this is when I pulled out the jerseys, and I was like, this is when I totally got the idea. I was like, yes, a sports star can live here. They got their jerseys up on the wall, maybe teams that they've admired over the years, they've got them signed, or maybe it's the teams that they've been in that have signed them. I didn't quite have it figured out, but I thought that was really cool and had a lot of fun doing that. And this is probably my favorite room in the house, but my next favorite room is probably the office, and I hung up a couple jerseys in there as well, and I thought that room was really, really cool. So I'm really excited to get to that room when we get to it. But other than the floor plan, the only room that I did cut out was the second bathroom, because there are 3 bathrooms. There's one right next to the entryway, which we'll do here in just a moment when we're done with this room. And the next bathroom is over by the office in the hallway, and it's pretty much identical to this first bathroom that I decorate. I literally copied everything over and just kind of rearranged it to be a little bit different of a bathroom, and that's why I didn't share it, because I felt like the whole flying back and forth to, you know, grab certain items from this room, it was just a bit hard to watch. I felt like the camera was just flying all over the place, so I decided to cut it out. And yeah, hopefully that doesn't bother you guys, but I mean, they're literally identical pretty much. And so I do share screenshots of both of them at the end, so if you want to get a little bit closer of a look, you can see them there. And of course, I will upload it to the gallery, so if you need a better look, then you could download it from there, and I will download it all as one room, because just in case you guys don't know, because my friend Pineapple actually figured out a really cool trick. If you bulldoze one section of the wall and then use the room copy tool to just copy the one section of the wall, it actually creates it as one entire room. So that's how I'm able to upload apartments to the gallery as one room. So I don't know if that makes sense or not, but so you don't have to replace any walls when you do download it, and it's really cool, and I'm very happy that she figured that out. It took me forever to figure out what she was talking about in her videos, but once I figured it out, I was like, that is a super handy dandy trick, and I don't think I've seen anybody else use it, so she's super smart. But anyways, so I haven't used this towel rack, I don't think, since we skipped over it kind of quickly, but that towel rack that came with the fitness stuff pack, I don't think I've ever used it, and I felt like this was the perfect build to use it in, so I thought that looked pretty nice in there, because it's a very stylized towel rack, which seems kind of silly. You're like, I would think, oh, it's just a towel rack, you could probably use it anywhere, you know, any build, but it's quite stylized. I feel like you can only use it in certain builds, and I felt like this one was appropriate. And I had a tough time with this hallway. I felt like it was a little bit of an awkward shape and wasn't really sure what to put in it, so I think I just do a couple paintings, the mirrors, and the side, like the little side table with some decorations on it. It's nothing too spectacular, but I really had no idea what to put in here, and I didn't want it to be completely empty, but I wanted it to look nice, and I don't know. It was a little bit of a struggle for me, but yeah, hopefully you guys do like it. I find something a bit interesting with these apartments that they didn't decorate the hallway that nicely. At least in my opinion. It's like carpet with like this solid like navy wallpaper or just wall paint and like barely any decorations in the hallway. I felt like for these like uptown apartments, you would think that it would have like really nice tile flooring. Like City Living came with that really nice tile flooring that I used in the kitchen in several different swatches. I'm surprised that they didn't utilize some of those really nice fancy items that came with this pack in the hallways of these apartments. I felt like it looks a little bit gross, like it would be not in a nice area. I don't know. And then that one room has like the green wallpaper. I really wish we could edit the hallways in these apartments. That would make me so happy. Even if like we could edit nothing else with the apartment complex, like not even worry about the windows or anything, just redecorate the hallways, please. They're so ugly. But I thought this looked kind of nice. This little bookshelf that I kind of put together in the hallway, it looked pretty cool in my opinion. But those archways going through the hallway that you can see off to the right of the screen, the Sims can't walk through there. Sorry, my voice just cracked. The Sims can't actually walk under those, so I do replace them with, I believe, some spandrels. Is that what they're called? I just kind of make some archways, so they don't look that great, I guess. I don't know. They're okay, but I wish we had some medium wall height, just regular square archways. That would be amazing. I don't know why we don't have them. But this is the office area, so this next to the game room, this is my favorite room in the house. I love how I stacked up these bookcases, and you know what? I actually didn't playtest those bookcases. I've done them before like that, where I try to make them look like they're, you know, full wall height bookcases, but I have never actually playtested them. I assume they work, but I haven't uploaded this to the gallery yet, so I will playtest that before I do to make sure they work. So if you download it, they should work just fine, hopefully. But I really like this room. I think it turned out so cool. I love those kind of reddish orange chairs. I think they look so nice. And I end up not keeping those pots in the corner. I end up going with this base game plant instead, but I felt like the colors on those were really nice. I just couldn't get them to look exactly how I wanted to. But for these jerseys, I actually used the ones from the kids' room stuff just to kind of switch it up a little bit and add a little bit more color, and I think they look so cool. And I also end up using the little trophy display case that I don't think I've ever actually used before, so I'll pull it out here in a second. And I actually put trophies in it, and I thought that was so fun. I don't think I've ever used it. So there's a few other trophies throughout this build, but I thought these ones were like the very special ones that are the ones that they won on very special competitions, something that I'm really proud of. So I thought that was really cool. And so we have this awkward long space before we get to the bedroom. So I do this little hand massage chair or foot massage chair, and then I do their own little private gym area. So I imagine that both of the couples that lived here, even the one that's not necessarily an athlete, they're both very active and really into fitness, so they have their own little private gym area, and I thought that was so cool. I totally would have fit a spa in here if I had the room. I think if I was to probably replace that hallway bathroom that I didn't show you guys, I think that would have made a pretty good spa. So if you wanted to add that, that's where I would add it. But yeah, I don't know, I really like that space a lot, and I really do like the way this bedroom turned out. It's probably the most brown bedroom I've ever made, but I think I pulled it off with just enough black, and sometimes I kind of feel like black and brown kind of don't go together. Like, I don't know, I've heard that sometimes, but I felt like I made it work. At least hopefully I did. I think it looks pretty cool, and I'm really happy to be able to use those base game rugs that I was never able to use before with the size down tool. It's so handy. But and this City Living bed looks I thought was the perfect color scheme for this room. And then I also used that artwork from Cats and Dogs, the modern artwork, which looks really nice in those kind of orangey brown colors. And then I add another fish tank in here, so maybe one of the Sims that lives in this apartment is kind of, you know, into maybe saltwater aquariums. That would be pretty cool. I kind of imagine that they were tropical fish in the fish tank, because when you fully stock the fish tank, some of the fish look quite tropical. So yeah, maybe they're into exotic tropical fish tanks. That would be pretty cool. I don't know. I had a lot of fun building this apartment. I definitely would like to build larger apartments as well. So that archway going into this walk-in closet is the same way I did the other archways throughout the apartment, so I did have to change this one as well. So that'll be different when you download it. But in this bathroom, I decided to go with this corner tub. I kind of thought about not doing it for a little bit. I switched it out for a shower and bath, but I decided that I would go with the very luxurious corner bathtub, because that's also something that I don't use that often, and I thought if somebody was going to have a giant jacuzzi bathtub in their apartment, this would probably be the type of apartment that would have it. And I believe the one that I used is from the fitness stuff pack, so yeah, it's another item from that pack. So yeah, but I mean, we have other corner bathtubs. If you don't have that pack, like I said, you should be able to switch out those items, no problem. And yeah, I don't know, I really like the way it turns out. This bathroom is pretty similar to the other bathrooms, but a little bit different. That's why I left it included. But yeah, you guys will have to let me know what you guys think of this apartment, and I can't believe I made it through the whole voiceover. I am so sorry that my voice is so raspy. Hopefully it wasn't too horrible to listen to, but just going through and adding some radios, but that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and please leave any comments or suggestions that you have, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!